All right. Shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, and glory, just as always, be unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahawashi, which is the Paleo Hebrew, the one true name of the Heavenly Father being Yahweh, and that of the Messiah, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, though the letter J wasn't even derived until the 16th century. One true name being Yahawashi, man. There's no other name given among man whereby ye must be saved, point blank, period. As it is written in Acts 4 and 12. I'd like to give double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS Great Millstone, who do real well today through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahawashi, and a sincere peace, love, blessing, salutations unto all those of you hopeful, faithful, potential members of the elect out there, doing the best to make the calling of your election sure, man, through the grace and the blood of Yahawashi, man. You see, because what we had is this right here. Chapter 6 reads, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. You see? And I'm reading that to run on to the book of Hosea, chapter 2, and verse 1. It says, say unto your brother Nami, unto your sisters Ramah, plead with your mother, plead, for she is not my wife. And that's what that word, that's these words mean, man. Ami, Ra, Ama. You see, the prophets sometimes not only spoke prophecy, but they also did particular things that, right, would be a show unto prophecy, so to speak, man. And in this instance, that was the case, man. All right, these two, he's telling his brethren to be called Ami and his sisters to be called Ru'ama. All right, so in him doing this, that's letting the people know, man, that, hey, they're being called what? Not a wife, and the men being called not her husband. Going on, it says, let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts. Hey, so there you go, man. So the Heavenly Father, and Salakia, I think I said that wrong, right? The Heavenly Father said he's not our husband, right? And we're no longer his wife, man. It's not even, it may sound kind of weird to say, right? But it's the analogy that's being used here, as we just read out of Isaiah 6 and 2, man. All right, the Lord, all right, he the Lord has likened us unto a woman, all right? And due to that analogy, that shows you the possessive behavior that the Heavenly Father has, right? With just like a man and a woman, right? The Heavenly Father calls Israel the apple of his eye, man. Or in this case, as we just read, a woman, right? Going on, it says, let her put away her whoredoms out of her sight and her adulteries from between her breasts, right? And that's why the scriptures talk about what, man? A spiritual fornication, right? As it is written, the devising of idols, the devising of idols, all right, was the beginning of spiritual fornication, man. So we begin to whore with these different gods, these different deities, the gods of the heathens, man. Verse 3, it says, lest I strip her naked, and set her as in the day when she was born, and make her as a desolate wilderness, and her a dry land, and slay her with thirst. And I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. For their mother hath played the harlot, she that conceived them hath done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers, and give me my bread of my water. Right, so all these riches that we had, right, we began to look at the people around us like we were thankful for them for it, man. When the Heavenly Father put them in subjection to us to receive it. You see the difference between us and the Edomite, man? The Edomite, right, just takes all that straight to his own ego, man. Whereas we, you know, we're looking at the heathen, you know, with thanks. And nonetheless, man, it was the Heavenly Father giving it to us the whole time, man. Right? That's why he said, I'll go after my lovers. Who are our lovers that we were running after, man? Them strange deities, them strange gods, the heathens, right? That's what all these stories were about, man. Radshak, Meshach, and Abednego worshiping the gods of the heathens, man. Dragon, right? And now, leading up to to these times, right, the worship of this last beast, man. All right, which isn't no graven image like in ancient Babylon, man. Now you're going to take the knee by taking that digital owl, that charagma, marking yourself as his pet, man. Going on, it says, right, but we're coming out of this, man. We're learning to trust in the Lord, man, to lean off of the ways of the heathen, right, their deities and the things that they do, man. Verse 6, it says, therefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way as thorns and make a wall, and she shall not find her path. So the Heavenly Father has made us stupid, so to speak, man. We're not able to find the way. We're just bugged out, man. Chasing after the bread and circuses, anything that the devil gives us, man, that Esau gives us, we're chasing after it, man. Christianity, Catholicism, the Nation of Islam, you name it, man. Verse 7, it says, damn, Mormonism, right? It says, and she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them, right? So we're going to be put underneath the heathen, man. This mimics Deuteronomy 28, right? And she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband. And who was that? The Lord, man. Yahweh. It says, for then was it better with me than now. This is the story of the prodigal son to a T, man. Right? It says, for she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. Hey, so there you go, man. So the Heavenly Father cut us off, man. The Heavenly Father cut us off. Why? Because we went off. And that was part of the promise since the beginning, man. Right? Deuteronomy 28. Here's what happens if you obey me. Here's what happens if you don't obey me, man. And we didn't obey him. So therefore, we were espoused, or we were likened unto a comely, delicate woman. But yet now we're looked at as a whore, man. Given a bill of divorce, even. You see? Let's go ahead and grab that real quick, because that's spoken of here in the book. I think actually I opened up on there. Romans chapter 7, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Alright, so it's using an analogy here, man. Romans chapter 7 and verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak unto them that know the law. So he's speaking unto them that know the law, because he's going to use it as an analogy, as we're going to see. It says, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth, right? So as long as a man lives, right, he has to live by the law. Just that easy, man. Verse 2, it says, for the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth, right? So just like that man's bound to law as long as he liveth, that woman's bound to the law of her husband as long as he liveth, man. Right? That's her husband, point blank period, man. Heavenly Father said, well, actually I think it's going to tell us here, but if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband, right? So if he's dead, then she's loose from it, man. She could go ahead and, you know, she's basically a single woman now, a widower. Verse 3, it says, so then if, while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. Hey, so you can't just be going on from man to man, because if that the ex-man is alive, then you're an adulterer, man. And remember this analogy of us in the bill of divorce with the Most High, right? That's what this is about to go into. Going on, it says, but if her husband be dead, she is free from the law, so she is not an adulteress, though she be married to another man. Right? Pretty self-explanatory. Verse 4, wherefore, my brethren, ye also are become dead unto the law by the body of Hamashiach. So the Heavenly Father was able to forgive us, man. Give us a scapegoat, so to speak, man. To forgive us, right? Make us dead to all them sins that we made, man. Because why? Through the body of Yahawashi. And that'll expound, right, upon itself in the book of Hebrews, the 9th chapter. All right, where it goes into the fact that the Heavenly Father, man, hey, he spills blood at the requirement of a sin, man. That's why we had animal sacrifice. Now that sacrifice is upon Yahawashi's blood, man. And you prove your faith by your works, is presenting your body a living sacrifice. You see, it says that ye should be married to another, right? So now that as I just said, right, through the blood of Yahawashi, we're able to make our body a living sacrifice. We're able to be married back unto another. We're able to be remarried unto the Lord, man. This is what the born-again Christian doctrine really is, man. You see, us being adopted back into it by the Heavenly Father, man. It says, like I said, the story of the prodigal son, man. We went off whoring to these different nations, these different gods, these different people, and realize how bad we have it among these nations, man. Return and repent to the Lord, and now what? Well, we're going to see going on. It says, even to him who is raised from the dead, that we should bring forth fruit unto God. Right, so now that he's been raised, we're able to bring forth fruit unto God, man. We're able to do this work, man. To plant the seed so that fruit may grow. It says, verse 5, but when we were in the flesh, the motions of sin, which were the law, did work in our members to bring forth fruit unto death. Right, we're over there, right, when in the law, we're over there just seeking a perfection within it, man. Failing to realize that none of us could be perfect in the flesh. Verse 6, it says, but now we are delivered from the law, that being dead, wherein we were held, that we should serve in the newness of spirit and not in the oldness of the letter. Right, so whereas it was so much of you, the law, the law, the law, right now we know that we're forgiven through Yahawashi, man. So we're gonna be able to fight this flesh, man, to repent, you see, and to not only do that, but to have confidence while doing it, man, knowing that the race has already been won. Yahawashi has set us up to sail, man. But your actions and your deeds are gonna dictate whether you succeed or fail. All right. It says, verse 7, what shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. You see, no, so don't get it misconstrued, man. It's not saying anything the law ain't sin. It's not saying, no, man. The law was simply given to us to know right from wrong, so you know how to repent. How do you know how to repent without the law, man? Please. Please answer me. How the hell do you know how to repent if it was not for the law? Go read first John 3 and 4, man. Right? What is sin? The transgression of the law, as it's written there. So without the understanding of what the law is, there's no understanding of what sin is, man. Which is why he goes on to continue. But what shall we say? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin but by the law. So you wouldn't even know what sin was if it wasn't for the law, man. For I had not known lust except the law had said, thou shalt not covet. You see, so he's saying I wouldn't know what lust was. I'd be over there with like a dog with his tongue out of his mouth, looking over my brother's substance, if the Heavenly Father didn't tell me that that was a sin. Thou shalt not covet. So now because that law has been written, he knows, right, that that's something that we gotta look out for, man. Something that we gotta combat this flesh against. Alright, but let me go ahead and jump to the book of 1 Corinthians. Chapter 11. Second Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 2, when it reads, for I am jealous over you with a godly jealousy, for I have espoused you unto one husband. Hey, we were going earlier about the possessiveness of a man and a woman. Right here it's referring to it as not possessiveness but a godly jealousy. Right? And why is there a godly jealousy? For I have espoused you unto one husband. So we've been espoused back unto the Lord, man. It says that I may present you a chaste virgin to Hamashiach. You see that? Let's go ahead and jump to the book of Luke. You see, you notice how in the gospel, right, we read in the Old Testament, right, for instance, in the book of Hosea, the 2nd chapter, we read the prophecies, man. Right, we read how the Heavenly Father is gonna be remarried unto the Israelites. In fact, we'll end with that verse out of the book of Hosea that says that. But in the gospel, you see these all coming to pass, are being spoken about again. Why? Because of Yahawashi. Because Yahawashi was on the scene, man. So they understood it was a time of prophecy, man. Read the book of Luke, the first chapter, right? And go hit the 60th verse on down, man. They knew what time it was. That's why they were constantly asking Yahawashi if he was going to restore the kingdom to them at that time. You see? So this book of Luke, chapter 14, and verse 8, it says, when thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down at the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou come and be bidden of him. It's like that wasn't the verse I was looking for. Go ahead and jump down. Verse 12, it says, then he said unto him and bade him, when thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen. So like that was an idiot, man. I'll just jump down to the main point. All right. Verse 16. It says, then said he unto him a certain man made a great supper and bade many. And that's what it is, man. We've all been called to this great supper, right? And you know, there's another analogy that refers to it as a wedding, right? Also within the book of Luke 2, which is why I thought it was up here, you know, in the upper verses. But this one's still fitting, man, right? It being a supper going on, it says, right, how many were bidden, right? Verse 17, it says, and sent his servants at supper time to say unto them that were bidden, come, for all things are now ready. Right, so this calling is went out, man, and you know, some of us have received it, many of us have received it, man, and many have and will begin to make excuses, man, why they can't do it. You see, why they can't appear, why they can't be at this wedding, why they can't be espoused unto the Lord, man. Verse 18, it says, and they all with one consent began to make an excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs to go see it. I pray thee have me excused. Another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. Another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. And so all these people had reasons why the world was hindering them from being in this truth, man. All right, so everybody's gonna have their role in this world, man. Everybody's gonna have their, you know, their things and what have you, man. But again, hey, a sacrifice has been made, so we can now make a sacrifice. All right, and some of us are going to do this, man. Not give a damn or a regard about, you know, that, well, you know, we're gonna feel some type of way about the things that happen here. It ain't like we robots, man. We still got this flesh, right? We still go through hell. All the more so, even. But we know how to combat it, man. We know how to look at the glass of water half full, because we see the bigger picture, man. Right? As it is written, Revelation 2:9, for, hey, when we have tribulation and poverty, man, we're rich. And we know this. Why do we know this? Let's go ahead and go down. Verse 11. And he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said unto his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth unto me. And he divided unto him his living. And another, well, and you know, we can go ahead and just jump down from there just for time's sake. Right? Basically what happens is he takes that inheritance and he goes and spends it all among the heathen. Right? And let's go ahead and go down to verse 16. It says, and he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. Right? So he basically got diminished all the way down to feeding pigs for a living, man. Right? And this is what the world will bring you, man. You want to be a goddamn a loser in this world and a loser in the eyes of the Lord, man, be my guest. All right? We always called the Edomites 2-time losers, man. But you know, we know all Jake's gonna get a win at the end of the day. But goodness gracious, man, you're gonna be a loser on this side. Nonetheless, there ain't no win for you, man. The only win you're gonna get is through Yahawashi when you get the last laugh. So look at this guy, man. Went from having his whole ass inheritance, went among the heathen, and now look at him. Now one of these heathens probably has that inheritance in his pocket, man. Some damn Roman somewhere. Verse 17, it says, and when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will also rise. Remember we read out of the book of Hosea? I'll go to my first husband, right? I will also rise and go to my father and will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion on him, and ran and fell and kissed his neck, and fell on his neck and kissed him. Verse 21, and the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. But if thy father said to his servant, bring forth the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. Right? So it was actually the complete opposite, man. His father was rejoicing at his return, man. Verse 23, it says, and bring hither the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For my son was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and now he's found. And they began to marry. Hey, so that's us, man, the prodigal son. You see? Let's go ahead and jump back to the book of Hosea, and we'll close it here. This is Hosea chapter 2. I'll just jump back to the point that I wanted to grab, as I had paraphrased earlier. Alright, this is the book of Hosea. Chapter 2 and verse 16. And it reads, and it shall be at that day, saith the Lord, that thou shalt call me Ish, and shalt call me no more Bali. Right? And so that word Ish, actually going on verse 17, it says, for I will take away the names of Baalim out of their mouth, and they shall no more remember their name. Right? So he's going to take the names of Baalim out of our mouth, which that would be that word Lord. Right? Let's go ahead and look up that word Bali in the Strong's Concordance. All right. All right, here it is. The book of Hosea, chapter 2 and verse 16. And it shall be at that day, saith the Lord, that thou shalt no more call me Ish, and thou shalt call me no more Bali. It's like thou shalt call me Ish, shalt no more call me Bali. And that word Bali meaning God. All right, well, let's go into that word Ish.
Strong's 376. Ish. Ish.
Right, it says, let's see, the root meaning. All right, a man, a certain champion, consent, fellow husband. You see that? Husband. Right, so that goes into all the root words there, man. All right, but yeah, the main point here is husband. Okay, that's what that word is. This word in the Hebrew is going back to, man. Husband. All right. Of course, you're gonna have different, different ways of saying it. This is a man's dictionary. All right, but clearly, as that chapter's explaining, man, we divorced from the Heavenly Father, being rebound to him, and now, hey, we're no more calling him God, but we're calling him, right, husband. I believe that the point's been made there, man. It goes on to continue to speak about the covenant, right, the new covenant that will be made, and that has been established upon the blood of Yahawashi, man. All right, so, you know, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm gonna go ahead and close it up there, man. Again, I believe the point's been made. Until next time, this is Brother Gar. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS Great Millstone. And a sincere peace, love, blessing, salutations unto all those of you hopeful, faithful, potential members of the elect out there, wherever you may be in these last days. And just before we actually close it up, man, I am going to grab one more precept, Book of Revelation, chapter 20 and verse 1. And it reads, it's like verse 21 and verse 1. And it reads, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from heaven, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Hey, so who's that bride, man? Who is that New Jerusalem? Did he not say that the kingdom of heaven is within you? Hey, so with that said, Shalom.